Problem is that we have got one doctor. We have got one doctor, and this doctor is working only on Wednesdays, right? Once a week. She takes only 10 patients. Said to me, he sees 10 patients a day. As the executive, they don't know.
And why only one doctor? I mean, they complain about unemployment here in South Africa.
Thank you. I feel for the people who could not speak for themselves, who doesn't know their rights. I have to extend a helping hand to all South African stakeholders. I want to see a change.
Sovo Learning Academy presents Mintirho VulaVula Podcast, the People's Podcast.
My name is Unprofessional, the founder and the director of Sovo Learning Academy. I would like to welcome you to our podcast, Mintirho VulaVula On Academy. Sovo Learning Academy is an institution which deals with trainings such as sign language training, facilitation, secretary, assess and moderation, coaching and mentoring, and early childhood development. In this institution, we are striving for the recognition of deaf people, fair and equal treatment, irrespective of their race, gender, or disability. Our main objective is to draw a numerous number of normal hearing people in South Africa to train in sign language so that they could be able to communicate efficiently and effectively with deaf people, that they could be able to engage in a short conversation with deaf people, to be able to communicate and socialize.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. On your screen is Macbeth Ntsongo, and welcome to the People's Podcast. Welcome to Mintirho VulaVula On Academy. With me is a sensational man, the founder and managing director of Sovo Learning Academy, the founder of Mintirho General Services. Ladies and gentlemen, Nelson Ntsongo. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Macbeth. Thank you, and the viewers out there at home. Thank you very much for hosting me. I'm really gratified, by your introduction. Thank you very much. I'm really happy, to be back here on Mintirho VulaVula on Sovo Learning Academy's podcast. I guess this is going to be our fifth podcast, right?
Yes.
After a long, setback due to technical problems.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So today we are going to be looking at a very underrated yet a big issue within our society, communities, and South Africa as a whole. Today we're going to be looking at the health establishments and how they treat and serve their patients. What is your take?
Yes, indeed. Before I could dive into the hot issue of the health, establishment as to how people get treated when they get there, let me start by, making a formal introduction as to who we are. We are Sovo Learning Academy, an institution which is fully accredited by HTTP, SETA, and SAQA. We are in education and training, and we deal with, numerous trainings, specializing in sign language. And one of, our scope of work is to describe the relevance of human rights and democratic practices in South African society. That it is well in place, as already I've told you that we are accredited. It is part of our duties also to discuss and practical problems and offer a solution using South African Sign Language. So in this podcast, we are dealing with, problems which are facing day to day by deaf people. And especially for this show, starting from today, we are no longer going to focus mainly on deaf people, whom we always feel and believe that they are segregated, until such time sometime last year around June or July, where the president of this country proclaimed that Sign Language now, it is officialized. It's kind of like it's a 12th official language in South Africa. So we are happy about that progress. So now with the health issues, we really want to dive into that, because we feel that our people, when they get to national health establishments, they don't get the treatment which they're supposed to get. So it is the main reason today we have decided actually to embark into this journey. By the way, we are advocating the rights of deaf people and South Africans at large, normal hearing people at large. So basically what we're going to do today is just, to dive into it, to discuss, the injustice which occurs at, the health, establishments.
Okay, so my question to you is, what is one expected to do or is supposed to do when they are ill-treated?
No, you see, that is the main objective. We are on on this podcast, Macbeth, because talking from experience, we have done our studies, we have done our research as well, and through a very close observation, we realize that majority of South Africans actually they lack information, of which result into them subjected into unfair treatments when they get to the national health or the health establishments. So basically what they're supposed to do first is just for them to know their rights. Then from the onset, on the service point, they have got the right which covers them to launch a complaint on the service point.
Do you really think these patients know their rights? And if not, how can they familiarize themselves with these rights?
Not at all. Like we have just said now, we are advocating, their rights. We are here actually to assist them, because we could see that, this is something which, they won't be able to do it by themselves. So we are here actually as an activist, as the pioneer. We are advocating their rights. So basically what they have to do first actually is just to tap into their rights. Patients, when they're out there seeking for health services, basically what they need to know is that they've got the right of life, they've got right of liberty, they've got freedom from slavery and torture, they've got right of opinion, they've got the right of expression as well. And also, how could we leave this thing behind? They've got the right of work and also education as well. But the most fundamental basic right, which it is in line with patients, is that we have got the National Health Amendment Act, the National Health Amendment Bill, by the way, of 2012, Section 78. That health amendment bill, it allows the patient. It allows the patients actually to contribute, in trying to pursue a service delivery. That it is within their rights. They've got the right which is being covered by the National Health Act, National Health Amendment National Health Amendment Bill, of 2012, Section 78. That it addresses their issue. it gives them the rights to, to contribute towards improvement of service delivery. And other than that, there are so many things which they could do. And let's just, it's, most of it, they'll hear it while we are rolling on.
So if I, as a patient, my rights are not met, how do I go about launching a complaint?
Wonderful. There is a National Health Act. That is Act 61 of 2003, Section 18. That it irons out the whole question as to how one has to launch a complaint, because that it automatically it empowers, it gives the right not only to a patient, but to all South Africans. It gives them the right to lay a complaint towards towards the manner in which one has or her, towards the manner in which they have been, he or her been treated during the time was seeking a service. So they are actually, covered, with those rights. That is, it is found in the National Health Act 61 of 2003, Section 18. It covers them automatically. When you get there, you know that you have got the rights which you have, which is protecting you. Then you will avoid being subjected into an ill treatment. But then I think you have asked a very fascinating question. A fascinating question in the sense that because you might know your rights, but you still lack the processes and procedures as to how do you launch and where do you have to launch your complaint or your problems. By the way, according to the constitution of this country, which guides actually the National Health services, be the hospital when we're talking about the national health establishment, be the clinic, and be the hospitals. Those are the ones we are talking about here. So there are standards which have been set, and actually there are bodies which are supposed to be held responsible when it comes to that. And here we are talking about the executives, meaning that if you encounter a problem there, you have to seek assistance of the offices of the executive. And that is where you certainly will get they are divided, right? Mostly it consists of three bodies: the management of the nurses department, the management of the doctors, and the CEO, which is the chief executive officer. Yes.
Wow. So we have something called the Batupili principles. Can you please enlighten us with that?
Oh, talking about Batupili. Yeah, you see, Batupili, I think the word itself, this phrase itself, it's a self-explanatory.
Yeah.
But then, you don't have, to take it light to say that now it is self-explanatory, hence, other people, they don't even know what it's all about. Batupili, it's simple in an essence. It says people first.
Yes.
Meaning that, the public, services, the public agents, right? And in this regard, we talk about the nurses, the doctors, you understand?
Yes.
They should actually value the life of the patients first. So basically, that's what, Batupili means. And it consists of many factors. That's, consultation, service, standards, courtesy, access, information, openness, transparency, dealing with complaints, giving best value. That's what, Batupili means.
Wow. So my question to you is, what if these nurses and the people you have mentioned within the body do not comply? How do you go about handling the situation?
Yes, basically, should you encounter such kind of things, automatically that, it will lie on the violation of a human rights. You understand? There's a human rights violation in healthcare, often involve discrimination and failing to apply proper informed consent. You understand? Status and has violated the patient's right to access healthcare services. her right to dignity and her right to make own decisions about her health and bodies. So these people, remember the executive which I talked about, those are the bodies, the relevant bodies which you certainly have to launch your complaint at. There is no way they could jeopardize that, because that is their main primary responsibility. Remember, I told you in the beginning that all these things, which is happening, we are guided by the constitution of this country, which also made it a point that they make there is code of conduct which actually drives or hold these executives responsible. And on that we've got I think how many are they? We've got 4 pillars of code of conduct, and that is what it is. Prioritizing people or patients. You understand? You have to prioritize people or patients. Practice effectively, right? Then you have to promote professionalism and trust. Those are 4 cardinal pillars of code of conduct, and we have got in separation, but they go together, they go parallel. We've got another 5 code of conduct, which all the executives, all the public servants, they have to adhere by, which is integrity, objective. They must be objective, they must be competent, confidentiality, and also the professionalism. They have to execute that. So in essence, what I'm trying to say to you is that all these code of conduct which I've already talked about, automatically each and every employee of those executives, they have that in place. It is well stated in their employment contract, so they know it very well. That is why it is important for one to know your own rights, so that when they start marginalizing you, ill-treating you, then you know how to react towards that. And by the time you show them that this is how things should be done. You are not here to impose your own policies, to impose your own rules and regulations, but they have to adhere and make it a point that they discharge the responsibilities which is actually given to them. You understand? And guided by the code of conduct. So there is no way you could launch a complaint, and yet again it is not attended to.
Wow, I find it very interesting how you are very well informed. I would think you're a lawyer if I didn't know you.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry to cut you off there. I think that is one of the things which is propelling me to end up being a public servant, wanting to assist, to becoming to advocate the rights of of the people, because believe me, I have got a lot of experience. It is not by fluke that I have decided to take this path, because if I've got a lot of experience of ill treatment, I have seen it all from the public health cares, be your clinic and the hospitals. People, believe me, are suffering there. They are suffering, and I have seen it. I think it's worth it, because like I'm saying, I'm a living testimony. I have experienced what I'm talking about now. I know that people get marginalized. People, they get to be subjected into the long unnecessary queues, whereby there is a deficiency of information. By the way, according to the constitution of this country, which guides the health establishments, whenever you walk into any health establishment, be you a hospital or clinic, they actually supposed to put, the boards where it has to direct you. More especially now we are talking about where and how to launch complaints. It has to be seen, it has to be visible that if you are not satisfied with the manner in which you've been treated, then you go to this individual, you go to this office, and that it is there. It is something which you are entitled to do. You shouldn't be found wanting, not knowing where to go. You understand? So I think it's about time that I really put my hands firm and make it a point that people who are in need of this kind of assistance, who are being ill-treated, suffering at the hands of the public the public service agents, then certainly they have to be held responsible together with their executives. Yes.
So what motivated you? What is your motivation to this?
No, my motivation is clear. Like I'm saying, I've got a vast experience when it comes to this. I have seen it all. Remember, I'm also, I'm living in a society. I'm part of the society community, and at some stage, you get ill to a point that there are some services you could always go. You could always choose to go to your general practitioner, your own doctors and stuff like that. But there are certain specific services, which is actually rendered properly so by these establishments, by the clinics and the hospitals. So you get, you're left with no option, but you have to go there. So that is where, my experience is emanating from. I will tell you one interesting story. This is actually what what is pushing me. By the way, I'm passionate, I'm devoted to this, and I know that I can do it because I have tested myself. In any situation whereby I get to be ill-treated, or my service gets my rights gets violated, I always stand up and defend my rights. And I don't remember even a single occasion where I take them on, the executive on, making sure that they are held responsible. I do not remember losing or being, failing actually to protect my rights. In all, the cases which, I took it, to the executives as complaints, I always, got it to my favor. Let me quickly give you one practical example, something which recently happened. I'm talking about last month.
Yes.
I happened to have a challenge with my eye, right? And I went to my doctor. Unfortunately, it's not it's just a general practitioner. It's not it's not even specializing on eyes and stuff. You understand? So when I got to my doctor, and then he wrote a letter to say that I must go to the hospital. I'm not going. By the way, I think I must just declare this and make it a point that it is well understood. The main objective of this podcast or these services we are venturing onto is not it's not to badmouth our health
Service providers.
Service providers or establishment, to badmouth our hospitals or our clinics. No. Remember, in one of the rights which we obtained as a public is that we have got the right to contribute, right, towards improving service delivery. So that is exactly what is driving us. It's nothing else. Hence, now I'm not going to talk about the names of the institutions, but this is what happened, Macbeth. After being referred from my doctor to the hospital, I went there. Believe me, I was left astonished. I couldn't believe what I've seen there. When I go there, there is this welcoming area. You understand? And everybody is actually seem to be entitled to go past there. You understand?
Yes.
Then I'm a law abiding public servant. I always respect the laws of this country. Then I went there and I found this lady she's kind of like a reception. Then this lady, what was doing was kind of like collecting, the referral letters, right? Then we go there, I greeted, and then I gave her my own, she said she needed my referral letter. I've done just exactly that way, as she requested. Then after giving her, then there were piles of, papers, right?
Yes.
And people were seated there, right? About plus or minus more than 50 people, if not mistaken, they were seated there. Yeah, all our grannies, fully like old people were seated there, mixed. Then I asked the question as to, yes, I have given you my referral letter. Now, I want to know, because immediately after she took the letter, she said, you can go. We're not referred to go and sit there, but we're referred, to, I was accompanied by my wife, by the way. Then we had to walk, plus or minus 15 meters to get another, place where we're going to sit. So I said, okay, it's fine. I do understand that we must go and sit that side, but I'm interested to know as to how much time actually approximately we're going to sit there before we could called up. Then she said, no, I do not know. Remember, as a public servant, as a patient, I'm entitled for information. I'm entitled for information. And one thing, you should know is that the information which, the public servant, right? Those people working there at the hospitals or clinics, they were taken, in for trainings as to how to conduct themselves, right? They have to conduct, not below the standard they are regulated. They're supposed to behave according to what? To their code of conduct. So they are fed with, that information. We as the patients, we as the public, we are not there, we're not part of that training. So as a result, it means when we walk in there, we rely on you to give us information. You understand? So it becomes hilarious when you ask questions and, one, feels that, you are now being, troublesome, you are trying to muscle them out and all those kind of things. That is unheard of. That is completely hilarious. So I asked that question. She said she doesn't know. And there was this elderly, senior sister, by the way. She came in and then she said, this gentleman wants, he has got a question. And then the lady gave me attention. I said, okay, fine. Yes, and immediately she was given my letter, right? Then the lady said, what is the story? I just, said exactly what I wanted to know. I said, look, I just want to know how long we'll be sitting here. And then she also gave me an answer as to, I don't know. Fair enough, she might not know. But anyway, as of me, I was expecting something. Even if she was, she wasn't going to give me an exact time, but at least an approximately. I ended up asking, am I going to sit here maybe the whole day? Then she said no. You understand what I mean? Fine. We walked to where, we were told we must go and sit. Then I told my wife, I said, look, listen, let's just go to the clinic, because a day prior to that day we were there. After being referred by my doctor was not aware as to what time, was not sure as to, he was of the impression that they are in operation 24 hours. You understand? So we went there, and when we got there, unfortunately, the clinic was closed. So we had to familiarize ourselves. For tomorrow, when we get there, we shouldn't just be found wanting, still looking for the clinic. We would know exactly where the clinic is. So I said, no, let's go to the clinic. And this is exactly what I normally teach, my family, my wife. You understand? To say that, look, there is nothing wrong about, seeking to know. You are not violent. You are not fighting. You are just seeking to know something which you do not know. So instead of just sitting here, let's go to the clinic. You will never know what will happen there.
So, why do you think this happens? Because we know this wouldn't happen in a private institution because their main objective is to make profit.
Absolutely.
And if they would do such a thing, they're losing money.
Yes.
Why do you think such things happen in these public institutions?
No, the thing is, they are. I believe is because it's a lack of proper supervision. Proper supervision in a sense that, remember, there are these bodies, the executive. The duty of the executive, which is their primary responsibility, is to oversee, is to look down there as to what is actually happening there. Is all system going or somewhere somehow? So there is a lot of lawlessness there. People, they are kind of like in a comfort zone. They don't care as long as they know that come end of the day their salary will be in the account. So I think people, they have lack passion and dedication. You understand? And they ended up feeling maybe just because they see death everywhere every day. I do not know. So to an extent that they get used to it, meaning to see like somebody crawling, being in the what do you call this, in the wheelchair.
Yes.
It's nothing to them. You understand what I mean? Because if really you are a normal human being, right, where of which you have got all your sensory stimulus, 5 of them working effectively, then you will be touched. You will have a conscience to say that no, this is my brother, this is my sister, this is my mother, my father, and all that. And you will make it a point that you come to the party.
So, what is the aim? We are here that we are helping the health institution, but then how far does the hand reach? Because these things can also happen. We see these things happening in public schools.
Yes.
How far does the podcast reach?
No, it reaches as far as our to the all 4 corners of the country. In all 4 corners, we reach all 4 corners of our country, meaning that in all of our 9 provinces, we reach out wherever they are having problems. But the issue of schools and some other service providers for to the public,
Yes.
that it's gonna be an issue of another day on another podcast, because I also got a very interesting experience on that, and this very same thing I've been doing and holding the principals responsible, and of course it worked. Hence I feel that it is time not just being selfish, doing it for myself or my family. Now I have to extend a helping hand to all South African stakeholders. I want to see a change. We are going to work together with the health establishment, just with one aim, one goal, just trying to make it a point that no one suffers, no one because end of the day it's only the patients who are in the receiving end.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So while I was trying to finish that story as to what happened the time we went to the clinic.
Yes.
When there we find it, there was it was terrible. Lots of people queuing there, some they seated and all that. Remember, it was probably my first time to go there, right? We call that an eye clinic. Then first you have to seek some sort of a help desk where you're gonna get information as to what to do where. You understand? I did that. I got another sister, though she had an attitude. I greeted, and then after greeting, then I wanted to know, she didn't even look at me. He said, join a line. There were about 3 queues there. About 3 queues. So to me, it doesn't make any sense. She didn't assist me, because when you say join a line, which line am I going to join? Because there are 3. Then I realized that I'm being ignored. I walked away and got until I found a senior sister there. She's a senior in all of them. She's a senior in the clinic. Wow. You see, I think that particular individual deserve credits. And those are the kind of the people we need in the leadership. We don't need people, who marginalize people or patients, who ill-treat patients. We need such kind of this individual I'm talking about. You see, this person, she doesn't discriminate. She doesn't treat you because you are stout, you are tall, or whatever case might be. She knows her mandates. I asked her. Then she said, "Okay, give me a letter." I said, "No, the letter, it's they took it at the welcoming center." She said, "How come?" Because the impression given to me that side is that we are going to do what? We're going to sit there, and then we'll have to open the file and stuff like that. You understand what I mean? Then she said, "No, you are not supposed to. They were not supposed to take your letter." And that's how letters get lost. The basic thing which they were supposed to do is just to identify, where you are going. To say, okay, you are going to the clinic, and then they tick or do whatever and show you the direction as to how to get to the clinic. Simple as that. And then immediately she ordered me to go back and fetch my letter. You can just imagine how people ignorant they are, and how actually patients or people at the health services get ill-treated. Look, imagine if I didn't take an effort, right, and abandon that instruction to go and sit there. There were more than 100 people at the other place where I was told to go and sit. Again, I'm telling you about at the clinic, there were about 3 rows, 3 lines. So apparently this is exactly what it results into what? When you finish there, then you have to go to the clinic by 4 o'clock, 4:30, they are closed. They'll tell tomorrow. They are not mindful of what we are going through. Beside the point that you are sick, again, for you to find yourself at that establishment, you couldn't walk. Apparently, you had to take a transport. The transport, it requires money. So that to them is nothing. And if you look at our economy, South African economy as we speak now is down. Everything, all the chips are down. So every cent counts. So you can just imagine how many days actually before those people get service which they require. How many times they get to be returned home. Then this sister told me that no, listen. Yeah, you open file here at the clinic. We do everything here. Then I commended that sister for such kind of work. She really deserves to be in a leadership role, because if we have people who are responsible like that, those are the people who will be able to go down to make sure that everything is going well. You understand what I mean? Because once the head is rotten, apparently even the body is going to affect the body. Hence, you cannot just blame, the people down there. It means, they are not being called into order by the executive. So that's the first experience which I had. But after getting that service, I had, they've got this, complaints box. Then I had to grab, to ask her to give me a paper. We call it, for compliments, by the way, not for complaint this time. Then I had to compliment her, because really, we need such kind of people who are devoted to their work. Then I was referred to another hospital to go now and get my my sunglasses. Yes.
I think your story will resonate with so many people in the society.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
we appreciate you for giving your time.
Yes. Let me. I don't want people to say that I'm just talking. If which one is my camera there? You see, this is the letter which I got. I got this letter. This is a referral letter, right? And I've got another letter which I'm going to talk about now. What transpired? By the way, I'm saying this is the first letter which I got. It was a referral letter, right? Which was kept. I was referred elsewhere where I was not supposed to be. Now, some weeks down the line, I had to go, to this hospital which I was referred to. When I go there, by the way, I remember, you cannot blame me and I cannot blame myself. I am not an employee of the hospital. I do not know the process and procedures. I do not know what to do, when and how. Someone should be deployed to facilitate the whole process to us as the patients. I walked in there, then I'm one other person. I don't just go, even when I see a queue, and I go seeking for a service, and all of a sudden, because I see this queue, then I stay in the queue. How would I know? Maybe, people, they end up, queuing for nothing. They spend hours in that queue. And then lately they realize that, no, they were in the wrong queue. Lately they definitely realized that they were in the wrong queue. Why? Because people, they do not know their rights. They are afraid to ask. So we are here actually to do that part of responsibility, to exercise your rights, to make sure that your rights are respected. Then I asked, I found a lady there. They were kind of like at the doctor who, they put the sunglasses there. I mean, what do they call the eyeglasses there and stuff. So I asked this lady, was asking, there were 3 old greenies here, and then 2 guys here seated. Then I found them there, greeted, and then I walked straight to this lady. I needed information because there was no way, even outside there were people, right, sitting in the benches. But I wouldn't know. I must be directed here. There was no way I could just, get seated anywhere. Then I asked this lady. I told that lady as to what is it that, I was there for. Then she said, okay, no, it's fine. I'll be with you. Let me finish with these old ladies. Then that was fine. Fair enough. Fair enough. Then immediately after that, she came back to me. I said, no, I'm here to collect glasses. Eh? This, I know it will sound hilarious to some other people. But remember, I was not, given full information. I don't know the process and procedure. When they said from, the first referral to say that go to this hospital to take glasses, I was of the impression that, I've never been, in that, situation before. I thought indeed, I get there and then they give me glasses because I've already undergone examination from the hospital. I've gone under, the machines and everything. So there I thought indeed. I didn't know that, they have to make me measure sizes and stuff. I didn't know. You cannot blame me for that. Then that lady, she smiled at me and said, no, you're not coming to take glasses. You're not coming to take glasses. You have to undergo the processes. You understand? Step number 1, we have to put your name on that booklet there. Then we'll give you the date. I said, wow. Then now, I had to do what? I had to wait for her to write my name there. Then while she was writing, I said, as young as you are, I don't think really you will give me a date for next year. I was just like, joking with her. It was just a frank talk. I mean, you could say that. Then that lady said, no, it's beyond my control. But I said, no, it's fine. Then after that, then there was this certain lady, is a senior. She came and seen there. No greetings, nothing. It's fine. Then we kept talking with this lady. She said, she gave me the date. She said, you're coming back on this particular day. They gave me 3 months. I was supposed to wait 3 months before I go and get for this, to get my glasses. Then I engaged this lady. I said, but tell me, what is the reason to be given such a long time? Because, I'm in this situation. What if I'm completely blind or I cannot see? So I must come here after 3 months after completely my eye is closed or whatever case might be, because you don't know the state of my eye. You understand? Then she said, no, the problem is that we have got one doctor. We have got one doctor, and this doctor is working only on Wednesdays. Right? Once a week. And on top of that, on that particular day, on Wednesday, she takes only 10 patients. Can you imagine? 10 patients. It is the reason, there is a hell lot of queues. Some of the people, they are going to get their glasses next year. Because, okay, look at it, practically. I was supposed to go back around June, July, somewhere there. So, how about those who comes after me? They're certainly going to get dates, which is kind of like, close to December, whatever case might be. Then I challenged that. I said, but it was a frank talk. I knew that, she doesn't know anything. But it was a frank talk. I was not interested in complaining that day. There are some, sometimes, you have to, cool your nerves down and relax and just let it happen. You understand? I said to her, but why one doctor? Don't you think that is unfair? I suggest that you demand or you consult with the department.
Yes.
You tell the department that you need capacity. Listen to me. Immediately after saying this, the lady hasn't even answered yet. The senior nurse who was seated behind the desk, she jumped in. She said, send him to Dr. Blah Blah. I don't want to mention his name. Now she's sending me to the executives. But what shocked me, it showed to me that it wasn't, in a gracious manner. It wasn't that really she understands that, I must lodge a complaint and stuff like that. She was kind of like, she felt that maybe I'm freaking her out. You understand what I mean? I'm troublesome. Then the lady immediately grabbed me. She said, let's go. Then at the doorway, she looked back. She said, she asked the sister, can't you call him first? Then the lady said, no, go with him, go with him. We went up. And I was sent to this doctor, and then I demanded also, because I could see that this one is having an attitude.
Yes.
I said, I want to see your senior. Then he called, the CEO. We went to the boardroom. Now it was, myself and this, doctor, and then the CEO. We talked. I complained and I needed the CEO after I had an engagement with this one.
Yes.
And this one is like, no, I'm busy, I'm going to the meeting, blah, 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 blah. I said, but there are always issues for the reason that you decided to give me, to indulge me. Then it means, that is within your powers. You decided to do so to indulge me. That you felt that, you are late for the meeting, you could have just referred me elsewhere. You understand? So that is not my fault. You cannot hold me responsible on that, whereby, because it was kind of like, pushing me. He didn't want to understand. And I have got the right of lodging that complaint. Remember that one. It is covered by Section 61 of 2003. You understand? Act 61 Act 61 2003, Section 18, which allows us as the public and also the patients to lodge complaints, and those complaints should be listened to and attended to.
Yes.
And you should elaborate. You should tell exactly where it is emanated from, and everything which transpired. But in this, I was not allowed. He said, go straight to the point. Then I had to say, okay, fine. I've got a problem with the date given to me. 3 months, it's not reasonable. You understand?
Yes.
Then he said, yeah, this and that, and then eventually he said, no. I said, no, it's fine. I think you cannot handle it. Call the CEO. We talked with the CEO, and then eventually they called, the sister who manages the sisters.
Yes.
Wow. Again, that sister, believe me, that manager, she knows the duties. She adhere. By the way, she understands and she knows that she is the face of that hospital. She's not there for herself. She is there to represent with diligence the hospital. She executed her work perfectly so. That's another individual I could recommend to the top management.
Yes.
Those are the kind of the people we need in this country. She gave me hearing. You see, what I disliked with the first person, in the name of in the capacity of the manager, right?
Yes.
He didn't listen. He didn't want. He had an attitude. He didn't have any interest to listen to me. But then, one thing I think they should understand and learn is that when you are in a conversation, more especially you having someone or somebody launching a grievance, launching a complaint, then we say there is this phrase that listening is a skill. Do not listen to answer. Listen to understand. Because when you listen to understand, you will be able to answer what you have understood. Are you with me?
Yes.
So this one was rushing, was listening to answer. And I dislike that. And that is not the manner in which he has to conduct himself. Remember in the code of conduct, which talks about the integrity, which talks about the competency, which talks about the dignity. It also talks about what the professionalism. Where is the professionalism there? Divisions of professionalism. So this lady now, she gave me a hearing. She listened to me. She was patient enough. And let me tell you, that's why I feel that indeed this is something which, you know, we have to take on our shoulders, to embark in this chain of assisting, you know, people who are suffering out there, being ill-treated. And I say that, you know, we are covered by the National Health Act 61 of 2003. You understand what I mean? How does it cover us? It covers us because we have got the right to contribute towards the improvement of service delivery. That's what we are about to do on this show.
Yes.
I have left them there, now knowing what to do. She said, okay, it's fine. Let me go and see as to what happened. But what worries me now is that I wonder where these people, they got this procedure. Because in the first place, they were not supposed to take your name and say, go and give you a date. Number one, they were supposed to, before they put your name down, they were supposed to send, there are doctors in there. They were supposed to send you to the doctors and the doctor do the examination, because we have to do our own examination, despite the fact that from the first hospital, they conducted their own. We have to do our own, where we'll be taking the sizes and stuff like that. You understand what I mean? So I wonder why they didn't do that. And also the finding thing as well. So already you see, now, they are what? They are mistakes.
Yes.
Imagine if I didn't take this up, you won't know how long these things has been occurring there. People have been subjected to go there, and just in a space of 5 minutes, you are done. Take your name, go back home. So there's a lawlessness, and people, believe me, they are lazy. They don't want to do their jobs. So she went there, this lady, right? She went there, and again another thing, because I told her that, look, you must seek for more doctors. When she came back, she said, you know what? I couldn't believe it that, you know, the doctor said to me he sees 10 patients a day. As the executive, they don't know.
And why only one doctor? I mean, they complain about unemployment here in South Africa.
Thank you. That's my point. And we're not talking about just a clinic here. The whole is the hospital.
Yes.
There are talks about exactly what you have alluded to. Unemployment. Doctors are languishing in the street, are just, you know, stranded, going, not knowing what to do. But yet again here, we are being told that it's only one doctor in that practice. One doctor. In a public hospital. Public hospital is unlike, you know, private hospital. You could expect a certain number of people. Public is public. One doctor. So she came back and said, wow, I didn't know that, you know, it takes 10. I don't know where it's emanating from. So you see, people, they go in there and impose their own, you know, rules and regulations. They drift away from, you know, our constitution and the policies, also their code of conduct. You understand? So that automatically, it raises dissatisfaction. And which leads to what? To complaints. And this is exactly what people are subjected to. So, yes, eventually that lady assisted me. And then, yeah, I think, you know, we resolved everything, and we reached an amicable solution. Yes. So, yes, I got my date changed. It was no longer going to be 3 months, and it was adjusted.
Okay.
Ask me why.
Why is that?
It is, again, injustice. I want, you know, be celebrating that, you know, my date has been adjusted. I cannot.
So there was space for you, because now this day has been established and it was there. You could have went on this day, but then
There are so many ways they could handle the situation. That is apparent. That my date now has been changed. You understand what I mean? To suit me, to accommodate me. what message does it send to the public out there? Simple. That's why I'm saying that. Yes, I am happy because I'm no longer going to wait for that lengthy period. But end of the day, I feel for the people who could not speak for themselves, who doesn't know their rights. So everything happened, accordingly to accommodate me, just because I know my rights. I stood for myself. So it is a worrying factor to me that people, it shouldn't be always a case whereby you have to stand and challenge them. That is where they could, stand up now, start doing, their work. It's wrong. When you get up in the morning, you know that you're going to work, and you're a public servant. Make it a point that you deliver. So that is exactly what this show is about. That's what we are bringing to you. We want you as the public, the patients, to make it a point that you reach us, and certainly you will be assisted. So that is part of my experience. Actually, it's not even half or quarter. I think we're going to have more episodes where I will be I will be unpacking all the challenges which I encountered. You understand? So as of now, yes, I think so unless otherwise you still want to exhaust, or you haven't yet exhausted your questions, then it's fine.
No, I think we've came to the end. I think the viewers have heard, you've seen. This is the platform. This is the people's platform. If you have encountered any dissatisfaction of our services, this is the platform, So we're gonna leave the information where you can email and find us. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. No, thank you very much, Mabel. Thank you. I am of a strong view that majority of the people who are subjected into these sufferings, who are suffering in the hands of the public servant at the hospitals, they are old people, and I'm worried that these old people. I'm worried that sorry for that. I'm worried that the old people are not the YouTube thing, because this podcast is going straight to the YouTube and your TikTok as well. So I'm worried that they will be able to know or to follow, to know that somewhere, somehow, in one of the podcast or from Sobo Learning Academy, Mintirho VulaVula at Sobo Learning Academy's podcast, they could get assistance, or they could get their solution, the solution of their problems when they go to the hospitals and the clinics. So I will urge with you guys out there, be just to make sure that you inform your grandparents, let them know that help them actually to launch these complaints. I'm going to give you our lines where you could be able to find us or to reach us, so that you could basically, what we're expecting from you, we want you, whenever you go to these health practices, go to the hospitals, go to the clinics, whenever you go there, we would like to advise you to make sure that during that time where your rights are being infringed, where you are getting ill-treated, we advise you to get the name of that particular culprit, so that we could be able to deal with, get the names of that particular individual, and get the times where we need to note down time and the place as to where it occurred, so that we could have all the relevant information by the time we reach out to these institutions. That's what we could advise you to do. But nonetheless, this is where you could reach us. You could reach us on 076 number 542 1271. And also you could reach us on 073 391 6224. Or you could email to Mintirho VulaVula 2@gmail.com. I think it's enough for today. See you then on the next episode. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Enjoy South Africa. Stay healthy.